We started a podcast, Brad.
I know, very exciting.
So exciting. I feel like this has been in the works for like 2 years now. It must be.
Yeah, I think since we first mentioned it, it was like a random conversation of, oh, we should do it.
And to be fair, I feel like this is the best thing for us because I feel like we never see each other, but we need to like hold ourselves like accountable and catch up on a regular basis. And the podcast was the place to do that.
Do. And that's the thing, I think having a podcast would be like a good opportunity to not only just catch up, but I think it's really interesting because I'm 31, you're 24. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a fair, it's not a massive age gap, but it is like within our community and within the lives that we live. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Our experiences are so different so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, for context, for those that don't know us, I'm sure most of you do, we both lived in Suffolk. I lived in Suffolk. Brad still lives there. I now moved to London, and as a queer person, that experience is so different. Like, I've realised that, like, only being here for a year, but as much as, like, there's a big age difference between us, as much as there's, I say big, it's not that big, we live in different parts of the UK, we also share so many experiences. And I feel like that's something that is not acknowledged about. And you know what the gays are like it can get really bitchy, and I feel like actually we may be very different, but there's so much we have in common and so many experiences that I think people listening also are going to share. Hence the name Queerly Apart, because we're both gay as fuck, massive fags, but we are actually apart from each other. Hence why this is virtually. Otherwise, we could have been in a lovely studio. Don't know who would have paid for it, but
I was going to say,
maybe one day. We can dream. We can dream, right? Do you want to tell them a bit more about you, what you do, where you come from? Although I have just mentioned that.
yeah, no, of course. So yeah, I'm Brad or Bradley, depends on what you want to call me. Call me what you like. Go by both. Go by whatever you want. You call me whatever you want.
Old
31.
cunt.
Yes, that one too. Fatty, ballsy, I hear it every day. I hear it every day. Every day. I work in logistics. So every now and again, my voice will drop about 10 decibels. Where I'm used to talking to straight old men every day. No, I'm going to talk.
Right, mate.
You all right, mate? Yeah, let's go here. 200 miles up the road, bud. Yeah. So that can happen. That can happen. But but I feel like I am I'm not a typical country person, but then people be like, oh, do you work on a farm? Do not do dirt. So I'm just an average, boring person. That's me. And that's what's so cool. Because people that are average and boring can, associate to me. And people that have some semblance of a life, no matter how dysfunctional can relate to you. So
you can. But no, I think this podcast is great. We can share all of our experiences with everyone. I think, look, we'll try and get an episode out every other week. Maybe we'll do more. Depends on what happens and how well it pops off. But basically, we're just here to share our experiences of life and like the differences and similarities and our experiences and memories that we've shared together. And we will be creating many more, especially this year. We've got some exciting things coming up. So yeah, I think each episode will look at a different topic. This one is our first episode. It's just a bit of a chit chat so you get to know us. But we'll talk about all sorts, whether that's dating, whether that's sex, relationships, festivals, mental health, therapy. We both had our experiences with that. And I think just sharing it, it normalizes it slightly. So I think it's definitely a good thing to do.
yeah, for sure. And I think as well, like, people aren't going to know, most people aren't going to know who I am, but obviously people will know because you have got, some sense of the social media following. But for people that don't know you, who are you?
Who am I? Well, I'm 24, as we've already mentioned, living in London, and I work in marketing by day and I'm drag queen by night. Although I only do drag now like once or twice a month. I actually had a year and a bit off. Did it for my mental health. My relationship with drag, I don't know, it got interesting where my identity was a bit blurred. And now I don't mean that in terms of that I was about to come out as a woman. But I am serving fish. I sorry if that offends anyone. I just feel like that my confidence relied on drag. So then when I wasn't in drag, I had no confidence, and that was the moment that I realized that it needed to stop. So I kind of put that love back into Ben. So I stopped, year and a half, got in a relationship. It wasn't healthy. Like, so much love for him, but it wasn't right. It wasn't meant to be. And coming into 2025, I was like, get back into drag, get my shit sorted, start a podcast, do things like I need to do for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like at 24 I've done a lot.
You have done a lot.
A lot for 24, which is actually a really difficult thing because you then get ahead of yourself slightly. So like at work, I'm like one of the youngest. Majority of people are like late 20s, 30s or older, and it's really difficult to keep yourself grounded. Like that, you are just an absolute twink. Like not the twink. Although I don't fit into a gay category. For those of you listening that know gay categories, I don't fit into one. Like, do I?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like
Because
people would say I'm a
you're
twunk,
tallest. Yeah, I would probably say you're a twat.
but then I was never a twink.
No, but I guess it's because you're tall and skinny
Maybe. Whereas you're obviously like,
or fat.
I don't know what you are actually. I would say you're a baby bear.
Yeah, disgusting. It's so sad. That's the thing. I can't help being fat and I can't help being bald. And I'm like, put into this category. I just don't want to be it.
I don't want to, I've had enough of playing
Yeah.
games.
I don't want to be a bear anymore.
So funny story.
Yes.
So I went out Friday night. I shouldn't have.
Okay.
I actually went to therapy and said to my therapist, I need to embrace sobriety. I need to stop going out. The boys in the clubs, they're making me feel really shit about my mental health. I literally walked out. It was like 10 to 8. It ended. Walked out. I got a text from a friend. It was like, "Hey girl, we're in Soho. Are you coming?" I was like, "Let me just go home and get my ID and I'll be there." It's so problematic that I'm literally just like literally like box of tissues walked out of therapy like tears away, and I'm like, let's hit the town, even though I just said I'm being sober. So no, I went out Friday, had a good night, but went into Heaven nightclub, which I don't often do as a customer. I've obviously worked there.
I didn't know they were reopened.
Yeah, they reopened I think a couple of weeks ago. But I went there and I met this very attractive man. Like we're talking like olive skin, Portuguese, like tall, very handsome, which I feel like I'm admitting that I have a type, bearing in mind my ex was also Portuguese. But was gorgeous. Had a bit of a smooch in the club. Went to another club with him, like great night. I got home. I what time did I actually get home? Like 3 p.m. the next day. Yeah, so I got home like 3 p.m. on Saturday, so yesterday. But he was just gorgeous. I went back to his. We were laying in bed, and he goes, "Oh, just to let you know, I don't actually live here. I'm from Lisbon." Like when I tell
Whose
you,
house was it?
uh, just his friends. But I was like, this is like husband material, and you don't even live here. So I was like really mad, and then he texted me. I got home. He texted me. I went for a nap for about an hour, and then he was like, "I really want to see you again before I go back to Lisbon," which he's currently on the flight as we speak.
That's
So he was
weird.
like, "Do you want to go out again?" So I went out 2 nights in a row, and I'm like,
Sorry.
"What happened there?" And then she just went like
Oh,
that, and it was like to celebrate. No, we won't celebrate that my husband went to frickin' Lisbon. I literally was like this man, and he was like so lovely, and like he was so into me as well. I was so into him, and I just was like, this is frustrating because he wanted to go for dinner. He wanted blah blah blah. So I fly to Lisbon tomorrow.
no, you're not.
I'm debating it. He's asked me to.
What?
He's asked me to, and I'm thinking about it. I'm not at work this week. I've got the week off.
Oh, why not?
I know, but he was super lovely. Let me hang on. You got your phone on your Dell, haven't you?
Yes.
Let me just WhatsApp you some photos of him. You're
There's
gonna be
no,
like, oh, Grace.
is there no videos of you getting off of this one in the club on some random's Instagram page?
Don't expose me like that.
Oh, he's cute.
Yeah, like gorgeous girly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just was like it's just my luck, isn't it? That like he doesn't live here. But the thing that kind of annoyed me is that he didn't tell me until I was in the bed with him. Like we spent 6 hours in a club, and then although we actually left the club at 7 a.m.
Ugh. Ugh.
The club closes at 10 a.m. So when we left at 7, it was bright sunshine. Everyone was on their morning runs, and I was like,
That is disgusting. That's vile.
"Vile girl." I know,
That's,
actually vile. But yeah, that's kind of. I feel like I've fallen in love, and we've only met twice. And he's also like texted me this morning and was like, he nearly cancelled his flight back today because he wanted to see me again.
I'd love to go to a Portuguese wedding. Portuguese people are really nice, have good food. Well, actual question for actually, but most of them were all right. Most of them were all right.
Scream. Wait, is there Portuguese wedding a thing?
I went in Portugal.
Oh,
I
I
just
thought
had
it
a
was
wedding
like
in
some like
Portugal.
ceremonial thing that they do. No.
No, yeah, you have to eat 65 pasta donatas or things. What are they called? Pasta.
Screw. Now, we should probably tell the lovely listeners how we met, which I feel like is a bit of a complicated story. So I think I'm going to let you navigate that one.
Well, every time anyone asks about you, like how we met or how we become friends, I just say the most simple explanation, which is you were my ex-husband's best friend.
And you mean I was your ex-husband who is now my ex-best friend?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's true. I worked with Brad's ex-husband. We worked together and then met Brad through the ex-husband. I'm not going to say his name; it's not allowed. And yeah, we then obviously you decided to go your separate ways, as people do. I'm sure one day you might talk about that on here. And yeah, we just realised that we just kind of got on really well. And
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know the transition though between my friendship
Also,
with your ex-husband. Can we call him like Sheila? Uh, I can't remember the transition between me and Sheila falling out and then us becoming really good friends. Like I've no idea.
I can't remember how it transitioned. I remember that the catalyst of Sheila going like Instagram official and you ringing me being like, "Have you seen Sheila's Instagram?" And I was like, "No, why?
No.
What's?" Bearing in mind earlier that day, Sheila was proclaiming their love for me still, and then
Yeah.
Sheila had posted like a picture of them and you know their latest
But
fun.
look, I think people like life is so quick, like, and people move on and things happen, and I just think like it's one of those things like no bad blood to anyone. I think just people's intentions. I'm trying to be nice. This is our
I'm
first
just, I'm
episode. We
just,
cannot get
I'm just making sure
cancelled.
the voodoo doll isn't in the screen.
But no, that's kind of how we met, and then we've just like stayed friends, which I think has been difficult because then I moved to London like a year ago, and we've just like we don't see each other that often, but every time we do, the biggest hoot. Like,
He's actually like, "Oh, let's just do something like ridiculously memorable, and then see you again in another 6 months."
yeah, and then do something ridiculously
Okay.
memorable again. I
Yeah,
I just feel like the things we've done, like I feel like the first big thing was Gran Canaria.
yeah,
No,
that was the first big thing. That was like
when
that was my second friendly holiday that I'd ever had.
that was my first. It was the first time I've been abroad without my parents. No, that's a lie. I went to Disneyland with the school when I was like 12. But in terms of like by myself, that was the first time. And that was in what?
Yeah,
2022?
yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
2022, 3 years ago.
yeah.
Jesus
Uh,
Christ.
that is
Sorry for the
nice.
blasphemy. I won't say Jesus' name again like that. Yeah, like 2022. And I just think, I just always think of that holiday.
It was
Uh,
the most. I don't have any bad memories of it. I don't have anything.
which, do you know what? It's surprising because was it like 3 days before I like ended things with a guy, and it was not good.
Uh,
Like
yeah,
it
I remember
was
you literally
not
calling me.
cool.
You being like, "I don't know if I can go."
Go, and you were like, get your fucking shit together, and like that week is we're gonna get messy. Um, we got a bit messy.
We did. We did.
Although I feel like we were quite good. Like we could have been a lot
We
worse.
could have been worse, but I think that's because literally our livers wouldn't allow us to be any worse. I remember the
I know.
first night. I remember the night we got there. We got there. We landed at like 8 o'clock at night. You were like, "Let's go out of the town." I was like, "No, no, 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 no. We got to be unpack, put everything from the wardrobes, and get everything sorted." And you were like, "No, get out." We were out to like
Get out.
5 a.m.
I would love to know, Brad. We have done many entertaining things together. We've just spoken about Gran Canaria. What, to be fair, I feel like I I could say something about Gran Canaria specifically, but like, what is like a favorite memory that we have like done together, created together? I know we spoke about this earlier, and I said don't tell me because I feel like this is gonna either trigger me or I'm not gonna remember because we have done so many just crazy things?
I think I've got two. One that's like
Okay.
a favourite memory of like us together, and then one that is just like that I just think about when I think of you all the time. So I'm gonna do that one first. So that was when we were in Gran Canaria, and I think we spent like an hour talking to these like 50-year-old ladies by the pool. On the one like, on the one of the one days that it was sunny, and you was in the pool. And you went, "Oh God, I need to sneeze! I need to sneeze!" So you went under the water, held your nose, and then come up and just projectile blood. It was just literally blood everywhere. And she was just like, it was just so funny. It was
And
just,
I was sober, which was the crazy thing.
it was just so funny. It was just so funny. I know people should have like a good memory of something traumatic, but it was just so funny. It was just so funny.
I literally remembered, didn't I? Because I was gonna sneeze and I didn't want to be gross, so I thought I'll sneeze underwater. But like the compression, just blood just came everywhere. I was like, if a shark comes in this pool right now, I'm fucked.
God, that was so funny.
Oh.
And favorite memory, like I think it's a hard one because like you said, we've done so many things together. I think one thing that I did really like was when like a good memory is when we went to Manchester, and
Yeah.
I think it was on the second night we were in that bar. I can't remember what it was called. It was the good one. I can't remember what
Via.
it's. Yeah, and we were in the corner by the fire exit, and you got a bit of paper or something, and like red light district, things like that. We were literally at the windows, like flashing people and trying to get people to come into the bar. That
And
was
it
probably
worked.
it did. We did get any free drinks though, which is kind of annoying, but
No.
uh, you know,
Oh my god,
uh,
though, Manchester, that was wild.
we saw Jedward.
Yeah, we did. And I've still got a voice note from Jedward randomly. Shall I play it? Hang on. Yeah, it was just such a wild, like, experience. Just like in the best way though. We need to go back to Manchester at
We
some
do,
point.
yeah, we need to sort that out. We need to sort that out.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, Speedy Speedy. What is their name? Oh, here we go. I hope you can hear this.
Hey, Benjamin. It's Jedward. Keep rocking Suffolk. Honestly, so much great people, so much talented people in Suffolk. Jedfuck.
And that was it. By the way, I didn't follow them. They just randomly followed my drag account one day and then just sent that. Like, I'll insert the clip here of the screenshot. It's literally just them, just a random voice note out of nowhere.
Are they
Uh,
gay?
and then I responded, I will also insert this. Sorry to the man, but I sent them this.
That's great. Oh,
Some guy I saw on Grinder that I was like, that's Jedward.
oh,
Oh, that to be fair, that was funny. Um, two two of my favorite memories. I'll go with two. One because it's Gran Canaria. The second one we'll talk about, but not in much detail because I think it's going to probably be its own episode at some point. So it is Gran Canaria, and it was when we must have been drunk. We must have been pre-drinking in the hotel. Then we were like, let's go out to the club. I think that was what it is. Or it was during the day. I literally can't remember. That holiday blurs into one.
it
I think we
does.
were just drunk the whole time.
We were. We literally. I think there was one day you didn't drink, one day that I didn't drink, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah. So and what were we drinking at the hotel? It was something
It's
weird. Was it like? Go on.
oh, we were drinking. It was Malibu, wasn't it? But we couldn't
I
get it. At
why have I got?
the hotel, we couldn't get Malibu. Every time we kept on saying, "Give us coconut," like, "Can we have coconut rum? Can we have coconut rum?" They would just give us random like liqueurs and things like that, and we were just drinking the most
Why have I
vibes.
got in my head strawberry milkshake?
No,
Oh, I thought we were drinking like vodka strawberry milkshake or something.
oh God, I don't think so.
No, that's what I thought.
We were just drinking random stuff, and then when we were
Yeah.
going out, we were drinking like vodka, like
Yeah.
vodka, Malibu and Coke. Or...
I remember though, we were walking down the street one day and we walked past this like what looked like a it's not quite a hotel. It's like you know exactly what I'm about to say. It's not a hotel. It's not an Airbnb, but it's like one of these like little bungalow type place. To be fair, once again, I will insert here the place that we're talking about. And there was a sign on it called Tunti Ma. Now, to this day, we've tried to Google what Tunti Ma means, but we don't know. So the way we translated it basically was whorehouse. Yeah. And
But that's because we saw the prostitutes outside the bus stop there, though, weren't it? That was the thing.
yeah, and we were like, it's there for a whorehouse, therefore 20 Ma means prostitutes. So the rest of the holiday, I say the holiday, the rest of our friendship ever since, we
Oh,
just go, you dirty 20 Ma. Now, to my knowledge, Ma in Spanish is the sea, and I think Tunti is basically something about like 900 meters above the sea. So I think it's Tunti Ma basically means halfway to the sea. So it's like it was on the street down towards the beach, and that was why it was called Tunti Ma. But to us, Tunti Ma is you slapper, you slag.
Oh, that is so funny. Bloody Toonie
I'm not
Ma.
just a little bit of a slag. I'm a total Tunti Ma. that was a highlight. To be fair, I think my favourite second memory with you, I think Gran Canaria will always be a highlight, was actually when we went to Mighty Hoopla last year. Iconic. I'm also going this year, you're going this year, but with someone else. And I feel like, knowing us, we're probably just going to like merge friends. Maybe if we do, like, we'll do some sort of download on here to be like, this is how our experiences. To be fair, it might be camp if we go separately and then it's like, this was our experiences and how they differ. But it was at Mighty Hoopla last year. It was iconic. I I think I'll leave it short on this because I think we're going to have to do an episode all about festivals at some point because we've done Mighty Hoopla, we've done Brighton, we've got more coming this year. Was at Mighty Hoopla and it was so expensive for drinks in there. Like, it always is. And I'm just like, you know how to charge the gays because the gays will spend the money. I think it was like just stupid money. So we were like, let's pre-drink every time. Bear in mind, it's a day festival. So we're pre-drinking at like, what, 10 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah.
And I can remember that second day, we were like, we're going to have to just get through this. We were hanging out of our asses. I don't know how much I want to say it was like, it felt like a bottle of vodka in my body.
It
At
was,
like
it was
10
bad. It was. We stopped on that second day. We stopped at the corner shop, didn't we?
Yeah.
On the
And
way there.
we went in pissed as a
Yeah.
fucking fart,
Yeah.
like wankered.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and like 2 minutes into walking in, there was a massive ride, which is like so tall, and it takes you all the way up to the top and then spins you around. We were plastered, and we went, well, why not?
That was bad.
Wasn't it?
Was.
Tucked into a seat, not knowing if we were actually going to fit in a seat.
That's it. I was gonna say I did have the most humbling experience I've ever had in my whole life. In my
Seatbelt gate.
life, literally being like, and not even thinking. I didn't even think. It didn't even go through my brain. I might not be able to fit on this thing, being a fat cunt, and it just didn't compute. And when I then sat down, I was like, this bar is not going to go across my lap. And then the man comes over. He's like, yeah, you want the thick thigh seat, mate? And then we have to get someone else to leave the fat person chair, who was not as fat as this person, and then get in it. And that, well, it sobered me up like that, ready for the ride.
Back into reality.
Sit down, you fat cunt. And then it was just the bit of then, as soon as our feet raised off the floor, being like, this is a mistake. We have made a mistake.
My stomach was here, and I was like, "Uh-oh!" And it just went so high.
It was so high.
So fast.
But the next week it was at another festival or something, and it broke.
It broke, and people like fell or something. Yeah.
I don't think
It's so lucky.
I reckon extreme weight
It
or
was
something.
us. Yeah. They didn't weight limit us. They were like, "Get on the scales." We went, "No." But that has to be like one of the highlights of that weekend, as much as like seeing like Nelly Furtado. But that was just, it was the regret, and that we could look down and we could see Amy and Aaron, and we were like, "Please kill us!" Like, no, we can't do this.
That was really bad. Even now, it's like to this day, I still think about that, and I think I've been on like some ridiculous roller coasters, but that is still one of the scariest thing I've ever done.
Literally, girl. To be fair, talking about pre-drinking, the other iconic memory I have of us is when we went and saw Shania Twain.
Oh yes.
And we were like, we're not drunk. We need pre-drink. So we went to the Tesco Express round the corner.
Yeah.
We got a bottle of wine each.
Yeah.
Was it each or one between us?
I can't remember. I think we got one between us and a couple of cans, a couple of
Yeah.
tinnies.
we then walked out, and then quite quickly we realised, oh, you can't be drinking outside the O2. So a bottle of wine, glug, 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 in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well. We drank a lot before we got there because it was roasting up, weren't it? We were in like full on fringe cowboy outfits in like 30-degree London heat.
Serving cunt. Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we're not getting a tube. We ain't getting a tube. We're gonna have to get an Uber. And it took like an hour to get there because it was so busy.
Yeah. And then why we like, oh, we can get through it. Well, I think we thought we had like half an hour to get through a bottle of wine, which is obviously for us easy.
Yeah.
Not us confessing. We're going to start to realise that we're alcoholics on this.
We have to,
Love to all the alcoholics
change the name. Let's change the name, put you part to the local AA or something like that.
So we thought we'd do a section in every episode where we ask you, the listeners at home. Well, I make it sound like it's comic relief for there's thousands of people listening.
Please donate on my PayPal.
Yeah. Please send us money. No, I thought we were like, let's do something where we ask you questions, and then every other, like the next episode, we will read out some of the best kind of questions, stories, whatever. Now, in the theme of what we've been speaking about in this first episode, I think we're both in agreement. It has to be, what's your most iconic drunken story? Not that we're like encouraging bad behavior when drunk or drinking. You know, plus 18, drink aware, terms and conditions below. But yeah, like DM us or email us at queerlyapart@gmail.com. Preferably DM us on Instagram. That's the best way. And then maybe, don't worry, we'll keep you anonymous, but we'll read out some of your drunken stories. I'm sure we probably can relate in some sort of way.
As long as we're not part of them.
Yeah.
You'll get one, you'll be like, yeah, I met this Brit, he was this tall, lanky twat, and you thought I believed him when I told him to come to Lisbon to come and see me.
Scream. But yeah, maybe not about us, but we'll keep you anonymous and we'll read them out and we'll like share our love for them and the best ones and probably some of the most iconic ones, which might be really bad, but we're here for it. And I know some of you people that will be listening, I know you've got drunken stories, so send them in to the Instagram or over on email. Gorge. Do you know what, Brad? I'm loving this. This is campus tits.
It is. I was really nervous, to be fair. Like, before doing it, I was like, oh God, I don't want it to feel like inauthentic or like put on. So it feels good.
Do you know what it is, though? Yeah, and I think it's intention. And like, to be honest, we're not here because we're like, let's get a mass following and woo. Like, it genuinely is like an opportunity for us just to catch up and talk. And I just know that there's so many people that would love to listen to that. But no, I think this is basically, we're going to wrap it up here, folks. So look, make sure you're following us, like, share it with your friends. We're over on Instagram. I think our Instagram handle is @queerlyapart on Instagram. We're also going to start TikTok. Whether that has started already, fingers crossed. And that is Queerly Apart Podcast. Slightly different to make it confusing, I know, so apologies about that. And then you can also find us where you stream all your podcasts normally. So that's Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. Find us all on there. Queerly Apart. It'll be easy as sin. Is easy as sin a phrase? But
yeah, it is, because sinning is easy.
It's easy to sin.
We're sinning right now. Thou shalt not lay down. We're sitting right now, this second.
Scream. But no, we obviously this is in video form. You can also just listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Although I think on Spotify now you can watch as well.
Oh really? I don't know. I'm an Apple Music kind of guy.
Are you? Maybe you can go on there as well. I don't know. But look, Brad, it's been queer as fuck. And yes, we may be queerly apart, but we've never been closer.
Yes, I know, I agree.
Well, that's all, folks. I'll see you next week.
Yes.
Bye.